This past month has been crazy. I've had the opportunity to shoot on a variety of new cameras like the Fujifilm X-T3 and the new Canon EOS R. When the Canon EOS R was announced, I was so hyped. And let's be honest, do I need a new camera? And the answer is, no, I don't. What I do need is a new editor. For all of you who have followed me over the years, you know, and I'm not going to deny it. I'm addicted to gear, and I actually believe that that's a healthy addiction. Of course it is. In all seriousness, if a new piece of gear is going to speed up your workflow, speed up your time on set, help you do more of the things that you want to do, or make you money, then by all means, move in that direction as quickly as possible, because the whole work-life balance thing is real. So the whole hype for me every time that Canon is releasing a new camera is actually exactly the same. My hope is that the camera will shoot in CLog and that Canon takes the time to make sure that that CLog can be matched to some of their cinema cameras. And let's be honest, that has not been the case. But that was then, and this is now. Now, Canon has released the Canon EOS R. And the Canon EOS R has the ability to shoot 8-bit internally and 10-bit via an external recorder. The EOS R shoots in CLog, the original version of CLog, not CLog 2 like the C300 Mark II or CLog 3 like the Canon C200. And yes, I know that the Canon C300 Mark II has the ability to both shoot and monitor in CLog 3. I'm guessing by now that you guys have noticed I have attention challenges. It's one of many, trust me. Yeah, it's true. A bit of adult ADD, but it's actually not a big deal because it helps with creativity. But I need to stay focused. So my one big question was, will the CLog coming out of the Canon EOS R match the CLog out of my cinema cameras like the C200 or C300 Mark II? For all you people who only watch the first 3 minutes of the videos that I put out, the answer is yes, but yeah, that's all you're getting for now. I guess you'll have to watch the video till the end to find out, or you'll have to run the test yourself. And if that sounded mean, I'm sorry. I really just want you guys to hang out with me till the end and maybe even subscribe. So Canon has made it a point to say that the Canon EOS R is not replacing any of their existing cameras, like the 5D Mark IV, which also shoots in CLog. In fact, they're suggesting that if you already own a Canon camera or a Canon cinema camera, that you can use the EOS R side by side or have it as an accompanying or complementary system. Without a doubt, they've accomplished that. If you own a Canon cinema camera, obviously those shoot CLog. The EOS R is a terrific accompanying or complementary camera system. The 4K crop, without a doubt, is something that, as an owner of a Canon cinema camera, should be considered before you run out and pick up a Canon EOS R. If you're delivering in 4K, what on earth makes me say that? Here's the short version of the answer. If you're a Shane's Inner Circle member, and you're like me, where you can't wait till the podcast episode is released so you could go down there, download it, listen to it, and enjoy it, then you already know what I'm about to say. If you're not a Shane's Inner Circle member and you consider yourself a content creator or a filmmaker, you should absolutely do whatever you can to try to become a member as soon as you can afford the $15 or $17 monthly fee. Or just one quick second. This video is not sponsored by Lydia or Shane Hurlbutt. If I owned a tie, I would have totally wore it just to record that one single line. Because yeah, at this point, which is right around election time, I am sick of political ads. If I was the DP or camera operator on some of those commercial shoots, I may have a different opinion. Just saying. So the real short answer to the comment about delivering in 4K, Shane shared in his podcast, and no, I'm not going to play it for you, that when he shot Into the Badlands for TNT, he shot it on red. And yes, red is awesome. And yeah, that first season of Into the Badlands is badass. So Shane shot that whole series on Red Dragon. That means he shot in 6K, 5K, 4K, and whatever other thing he needed to do to make sure that he delivered that whole series to TNT in 2K. So he shot in 6K, 5K, 4K, whatever he needed, and then he delivered in 2K. Mind blown. I know. The studio took his 2K final product, right? And rather than publishing that masterpiece of lighting and cinematography to all of us mortals in full HD, as in 1080, you know what they did? They decided to publish it in 720p. How much do you pay your cable or satellite provider every month? They're delivering 720p content to your television. How f***ed up is that? So that's a true story from an ASC cinematographer and filmmaker. And here we are producing content for YouTube, shooting weddings or events, working in the corporate video space, and some of us get to occasionally play in the commercial production. And what happens as soon as a new product is released and they share with us all of the different specs? We sit there, we analyze the specs, we tear them apart, we find all the reasons why something didn't get included, instead of taking the time to actually getting our hands on that product, shooting with it, and then determining if in fact it can get our job done. Our job done in a way that is going to allow us to speed up workflow, make money, or overall just improve the versatility of what it is that we're able to deliver. But one thing is for sure, every single one of us, everyone, is entitled to their opinion, but no one can tell you how to run your business. So for me, I need to know if a piece of gear is going to help my workflow or help my crew. So I set up a test to try and match the EOS R to my C200 and C300 Mark II. And I picked two lenses that are in a lot of people's kits, but also that are attainable for most people. The Canon 50mm f1.2 and the Canon 100mm f2.8. I set up a total of 4 shots, one each, daytime interior, daytime exterior, and then additionally 2 more nighttime interior shots. Once I had the framing that I wanted, I simply just swapped out which camera was on the tripod. When matching cameras, it's important that you match lenses. And because I don't have more than one of any of my stills lenses, I ended up having to also switch the lens from camera to camera as I got the shots. The daytime shots were happening during golden hour, right as the sun was about to set. So you know how fast light changes during that time, as well as how the white balance just continues to change because of the ambience. The C200 RAW file is DCI 4K, so if you notice a difference in framing, now you know why. The C300 Mark II can also capture in DCI 4K, but I had it set up for Ultra HD. So that's why you're going to see a cropped in version of that 4K. And the EOS R crops into the sensor. And that dramatically changes the framing and obviously also affects your depth of field. But we're not talking about that right now, and we can certainly cover that in a different video if there's enough interest. And if there is, leave a comment. Can the Canon EOS R match Canon cinema cameras? Yes, it can. That makes the Canon EOS R a valuable asset to all of us Canon owners. And I know that I said yes, but earlier, and we'll get to the but a little bit later. So let's see how the Canon EOS R did outdoors in available light. And again, golden hour really means that exposure is changing minute by minute and sometimes faster. So here we go. The C300 went first in this round. So that's why you see the exposure as higher and why it is that you're able to see more reflection of the environment on bird's skin. The EOS R went second, and you can see that in the sky because the sky changed colors as the sun hit the horizon. And the C200 went last in this round, and the sun basically had 5 or 6 minutes left before it was completely below the horizon, which is why again you see a slight shift in color. There is no doubt the EOS R is a bit more punchy, but can the EOS R hang with these cinema grade cameras? And the answer is yes, it can. And this is all being captured internally in 8-bit. So can you see why it is that I'm saying this is a great camera or complementary camera to all of us Canon owners? Let's move on to nighttime interiors. So in this scene, we're using only practicals and we're shooting into a mirror. And because we're not speeding to get the shots off before the sun goes down, we're in a much more controlled environment. The C200 went first in this round and the images are gorgeous. The C200 is what I would call a poor man's Arri because it's that good. Why Arri and not red? Different video, I need to stay focused. The C300 Mark II's image is equally gorgeous and awesome. And the only reason why the C300 Mark II is not my favorite camera is because I really love the Canon C200's RAW. But let's get something straight. They're both great cameras. And the EOS R? Well, here it is, punching way above its weight class. What? We're getting Canon cinema camera quality out of the Canon EOS R? Yeah, it happened. So that's great news to existing Canon cinema camera owners. But it's also great news to content creators and young filmmakers who want the Canon quality, the Canon colors, but can't quite step up into the cinema line. There is one thing you should keep an eye on when you're capturing internally into the EOS R, and that is gradients. Banding is possible when you're capturing internally, especially if you push the color grade. So what about that but? So we've established that yes, the Canon EOS R is able to match the Canon cinema line of cameras, but the Canon provided LUTs are not going to get you there. If there's enough interest, maybe we could cover that in a different video. But of course, you'll only know that we produced and published that video if you've subscribed and you remembered to ring the bell so that you can get notified. So let's take a look at that last shot. In this round, the EOS R went first. And because I'm working in a tighter space, that crop factor actually became a factor in how I was shooting. It was honestly uncomfortable. And in case you haven't already noticed, that crop factor is obviously greater than Super 35. The C200 went second, and that extra dynamic range that we get out of the C200, it really does show. The C300 Mark II went last, and by that point, I had essentially gotten annoyed at how bright I had the Racer 7 pointed into the trees out in the park. So I, instead of spotting it, I flooded the light. And that's why you see a difference in exposure in that background. In case you're the one that for some reason missed it, you'll want to check out Armando, aka Mondo Bites, and also Gene, aka Potato Jet. Check out their YouTube channel because those two have been running around Los Angeles putting the Sony a7 III head-to-head up against the Canon EOS R in a variety of tests. Of course, that'll give you additional perspective from people who are actually shooting with these cameras and using them on a daily basis. And back to my original question. Can the EOS R's CLog match the cinema line version of CLog? Yes, it can. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you guys on the next one. And until next time, take care.